Welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to be getting this Au Falcon ready for the drift track next weekend. We've got all these parts to fit. Jack, what are we going to be fitting first?
So first off, we're going to start with the rear. So basically we're going to be overhauling all of the suspension. So with the rear, we're just going to go with some super low king springs and some shortened shocks. That should give us a nice ride height and feel at the back there. Then we're going to come to the front. So we're going to be doing a full lock kit, including a Series 3 conversion as well, because this is a Series 1. You can't do the lock kit with a Series 1, you have to go Series 3. So that includes bigger brakes, different lower control arms, and then the different knuckles. These ones are pre-cut and shut, so that's going to give us a lot of lock. When we're doing this kit, we're going to be running braided brake lines, and on one side, we're going to need a longer tie rod end as well. That should complete that full Series 3 conversion, including the cut and shut knuckles, so that will give us a lot more lock. Barring that, we're going to be chucking on these extractors to gain a little bit more power as well. The more power the better, it's this NA, so that'll be good as well. And then last off, we're going to be chucking some spacers, really thick spacers, and some fresh D-speeds with some brand new tires on it as well. So I reckon we'll get started with the rear and let's go.
We've taken the wheels off and we found a nasty surprise where the actual axle seal's leaking. We bought this vehicle sight unseen, just trying to get to the track day on time. So we're gonna have to address that later in the week. But for today, we're gonna be fitting the rear shock and spring. And to do that, we need to support the axle so it doesn't drop down when we release the bolt in through behind the seats. We've got to start there, remove that nut, and then at the bottom we can take the bolt out and then lower the axle stand, and then the whole assembly will come out and we'll put the new assembly in. As you can see, we've got the rear shock and spring in place. It's a bit of work, got nice diff oil all over me, which is not the best smelling. We're going to get the other side done, and we're going to show you how to get the front suspension and control arms done as well. I actually bought a masterpiece of a vehicle, top quality. They decided to save some more weight and they didn't add the rubber on this side. So yeah, we're probably going to find a few nasty surprises on this build, but hey, it comes with buying stuff for cheap, unseen, and I guess we just took the risk. So yeah, we're paying for it, I guess, in the long run.
As you can see, it'll just go off one side. We've got our coilover, we've got our new lower control arm, our knuckle, our new brakes, and sway bar as well, because the Series 3 sway bar is different also, and our brake lines. So basically, the only difference between the two sides, this is an Au house lock kit. So on this side, we've got two washers that need to go behind the rack end, back here. Two washers that need to go in between the rack end and the rack, and then Loctite it back up, make sure it's nice and tight. And then on this side, we've got an extended rack end. So because this rack's offset and then it changes the angle using the cut shut knuckles, we need this extended rack end. So essentially, the first thing we're going to need to do is I'm just going to take everything off. I'm going to take the lower control arms out, the shocks out, this whole hub assembly, and then we're going to take our wheel bearings off. Once we've got the wheel bearings off, hopefully they're not stuffed and they come off okay, we should be able to start fitting parts again. So we'll just show you on the one side, but first off, I'm just going to take everything off. So we'll get started on that and then I'll explain a little bit more later. So just with these coilovers, they came all loose, so we're just going to preset them quickly. So first thing we're going to do, these haven't got any instructions on how HSD want their coilovers to be adjusted. So basically we're going to just take out any spring travel. We'll just make sure that they're not flapping around in there. So we're just going to wind these up until they're touching. So we've done that. We've just got to lock them off, and then we're just going to equal out the height, the base height. So once we've equaled out the base height, so they're both the same, then we can chuck it in, bolt it all up, get it on the ground, and then see what the height is, and then we'll adjust the height from there. If you guys want a little bit more detail on how to do that while they're in the car, we do actually have another video. So yeah, check that out. So we've got everything assembled. We've got the other side assembled as well. So basically we've got our knuckle in, we've got our brakes, new lower control arm, new steering. So we've got the longer extended tie rod end on this side, rack end, sorry. And then on the other side, we've got our 2 washers that are in there as well. So everything's all good to go now. We're just gonna bleed it up off camera and then chuck on the wheels and see how it looks.
Thanks very much for joining us on this episode where we're building this drift vehicle for next weekend. It's going to be a 2-part video, so this is part 1. Part 2 will come out as well, where you'll see us finishing the project and getting it on the track and doing a few laps. So yeah, we appreciate all the likes and subscribes which we've been getting, and we look forward to seeing you in the next part.